Bonjour! Join me in my daily juggle between my Calvinist Dutch upbringing and my nowadays lifestyle in France, enjoying my French home and garden, keeping up with my Dutch roots, hopping from travel to home, from work to pastimes, and from family to friends. I am Joanna, and I'm a foreigner in France.
Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. Bonjour tout le monde. And you might ask, why is she sitting down and looking all serious? I promise you, this will not be a serious video. I came back from a visit to the Netherlands, and that is where I was born. I have been living abroad in France for more than 25 years. So half of my life I've spent in the Netherlands and the other half in France. And the last time I was back, I stayed a little bit in a little village with my parents and in the big city with my brother. I noticed that I was responding differently to the Dutch habits, the Dutch customs, the Dutch way of doing things. And I started to look at them from a foreigner's point of view. Those different habits and customs and behavior of the Dutch that I did in the beginning as well, but I have completely forgotten about. And when I saw them, I was thinking, wow, that's different. I'm not saying there's a good way and a wrong way of doing things. I'm just noticing that I'm being Frenchified and I am de-Dutchified. Where to find the best balance? One of the things I always do when I'm in the Netherlands is to go to the supermarket and to buy those typically Dutch treats, like there is hagelslag and rookworst and stroop. So this time I was walking in the supermarket with my little basket and I noticed how noisy it was in there. I don't know, it just struck me about the music being very loud. People on the phone discussing their life with someone on the other end and letting everyone around them hear it about them. How loud the Dutch people can be. There were these two ladies who were discussing their children and talk with very loud voices. They didn't seem to mind that everyone could hear about whether their children succeeded or not in life. And then when I came to the registers, the cashier lady, I knew her from when I was in school, when I was about 8 or 10 years old. And we recognized each other. And it was like, wow, you're working here. Wow, and you're here. I said, well, how are you doing? I lost my husband 2 years ago. And this lady seemed to know it, which is okay. I come from a little village. Everybody knows about everyone. But the way she brought it up, started putting my groceries up, and she said, oh, your husband's dead now, is he? Oh, that must be so hard for you. And there was a queue behind me. Now, I'm quite a cool person. I don't make a fuss easily. But I was a little bit embarrassed about all those people listening to our conversation. Anyway, the supermarket. No discretion. Another thing that I always want to do when I'm in the Netherlands is to catch up with my friends. And that is always such a fun moment to catch up with my two best friends from school. And usually we go eat somewhere, something to drink, and it's catching up, talking, laughing. We share so many memories, so it's always fun. Hi Eer, hi Anne. Last time it was fun as well. It's just this little thing that showed me a difference of Dutch habits that I had forgotten about. We went to this lunchroom and the waiter came and asked us if we wanted to drink something before eating. What do the French do before eating out? They have a drink. They have the apéro. When the waiter asked whether we wanted to drink something, I was a little bit, how do they do it again here in the Netherlands? One of my friends said, I would like a hot chocolate. And my other friend said, oh, good idea. I take one too. And the ladies would like to have whipped cream with it. Oh, yes, with whipped cream. And I was thinking, how can you possibly drink a hot chocolate with whipped cream right before you're going to have a warm meal? And it wasn't the only time. I went for lunch as well with my brother and his partner. And they did the same. They ordered a coffee with their soup. It's just the thought of having coffee or hot chocolate with your savory dish is just weird. This habit of having a warm drink before eating out is a habit I have completely switched to another habit. And I am now one of those French people who have a glass of wine with their meal. And if there's not a glass of wine, maybe a glass of water, but nothing else. Again, there's not a wrong way or a right way. I think I found the perfect solution. I had a tea. Speaking of going out for a meal in the Netherlands, if you go to a restaurant in the evening and let's say you get a steak, in the middle of the table, there is this bowl of potatoes, bowl of chips, bowl of vegetables, bowl of apple compote. Everything goes in little bowls in the middle of the table. In France, you just get everything on one plate and bon appetit, enjoy your meal. So all these tiny little bowls on the table, I think it's so cute, and I had almost forgotten about it. Now here's the thing that France can learn from the Netherlands, and that is waste management. In every kitchen, there are at least 3, maybe even 4 or 5 different bins for your waste. And if you are staying with a Dutch family, you just want to throw something in the bin, ask which bin. Don't just throw your plastic in the compost bin, because people will look at you and they will say, "Ah!" Of course, no littering. That is absolutely no. They are very, very good with everything that has to do with environment. And I think it's fair to say they are so ahead of many, many other countries. This won't be a very long video. One last thing that I want to tell you is, even though we all know, and it's a common knowledge, that the Netherlands are so tolerant and so open to everyone, but when you dig a little deeper, it's not really the case. Now that I've been living abroad for such a long time, I noticed that you have to walk in line. You have to do what the others do. You have to buy what the others buy. You have to have your garden, your car, your house, your furniture, your job. You have to do exactly the way the others are doing as well. And that to me is a little bit a lack of freedom. And I was talking to my parents about it. I told them that in France, your garden can be a mess. There's no one who really cares about it. No one will say, "Wow, look at that garden. Such a mess. Those people must be awful." But in the Netherlands, if your garden doesn't look as perfect as the garden next door, the whole neighborhood will speak about it and people will point at you. Of course, everyone can do whatever they want. It's just the reaction of people towards people who do whatever they want. The reaction is, "Oh my, oh my, oh my." But they're just different. It's also fashion in what's furniture and what's home decoration, everything. You have to keep up with it. It changes so often. My stepmom changes the pots of her plants in the windowsill almost each year because there's another fashion going on. In short, what I notice now, after being away for such a long time, the French stay rather Latin, rather Southern Europe. As for the Dutch, they have tendency to go a little bit more to America, to the States. It's very much orientated on spending on clothes, on cars, on boats, on houses. To make a long story short, I am so happy to be living in France. I am so happy to be born and raised in the Netherlands. The best of both worlds. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just wonderful that I can nibble a little bit of everything everywhere. So for now, I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for listening to me rambling on. And I say to you, à bientôt, au revoir, et bisous.